Well, divorce can be one of the most stressful times in life, both emotionally and financially. Around 30% of married couples in Australia call it quits. One of the hardest parts is splitting your assets and sorting out your finances. For most separating couples, it can be challenging to say the least. It's a nightmare. So what can you do to aim for a fair resolution with your financial settlement? Joining me now is financial advisor Naomi Rosenthal. Naomi, great to see you. At what stage in divorce proceedings should you bring in a financial advisor?
Koshi, thanks for having me. There's two phases when you would bring in the financial advisor. At the beginning, when you're trying to gather documents and evidence, and then broadly towards the end when you know what the financial settlement outcomes are.
What happens if your partner has been controlling the finances? How do you find all those documents?
Often it's a case of potentially getting a forensic accountant in to look for the stuff.
And your advisor will sort all that out for you?
Potentially you work with the advisor, you work with your accountant, you work with the lawyer.
Okay, so when they threaten you and say, you're never going to find everything, well, they're breaking the law if they don't declare it all.
Absolutely, they're breaking the law, but that can happen quite a lot. And you know your partner best, and you would have a sense whether or not they're hiding stuff.
So what do the courts look at in determining the financial assets? Is it like a company's balance sheet? They look at all the assets and all the liabilities on the other side.
Well, you have to provide all of the evidence, but the key document that the courts are looking at is called a balance sheet. And what this looks at is the pool of assets and liabilities in one partner's name and the pool of assets and liabilities in the other partner's names and the amounts of money that they've allocated to each of those. Now, if you've got agreement on those figures, it makes it so much easier to move through the process of financial settlement. If there's disparities between those columns of numbers, it can make for contention.
Okay. And is it usually a 50-50 split?
No, not always.
Right.
No. The courts are going to be looking at what's fair and reasonable in the division of the property and the assets, and that's dependent on a broad range of things. So what's the family dynamic? How much time, if there's kids involved, is being spent with one party?
Right.
Because it's future considerations as well, not just what's on the page today. I guess the other thing there as well is who owned the assets in the first place and under what sort of scenarios is the courts going to consider those assets? Is it on a contribution basis, and that may depend on the length of the relationship, or is it on a total asset pool basis?
Okay, so you've gone through all of that, you've got the settlement, you've got your side of the assets, and you've got the money. How do you now set yourself up?
Well, this is where a financial advisor really can help. So we can sit with the client, help them to design the goals and objectives they have for their future, look at their budgets, make sure that they've got everything, that they understand where the money is going out, think about their lifestyle and what they're trying to achieve, and look at their superannuation and other assets that they may now have in their hands and help them plan for their future.
Because after a settlement, you can feel like you're just at a loss. You've lost half or whatever the assets you've got. You think you've been set back years in terms of your financial goals. But what a financial advisor does is give you a blueprint for the future, gives you a path, some certainty, and that's comforting.
Absolutely, yeah. The whole process can be very overwhelming, and you sit back and think, I've got all this money, what do I do with it? And you don't necessarily know the next steps. So our role is to provide clarity and comfort and certainty that you're going to be okay.
That's what everyone needs. Naomi, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Thanks for having me.